Blog Talk Radio.
Hi, folks. Welcome. I'm Dan McDermott. This is the McDermott Report. We are live 8 p.m. Eastern, 5 p.m. Pacific, 5 nights a week, Monday through Friday, sometimes on the weekends. It's Casual Friday because, of course, Zach is here, and Zach is underwhelming. He's looking, like my assistant now, right? There's Zach. Zach Martin is a local political operative, but we let him on the show anyway. All he does, he watches Fox News and Breitbart. That's it. He doesn't know anything else. Last time he was here, he mispronounced Axel. He said Axel Road. So I told him I was going to bust his chops on that. All right, we got a good show tonight. We're going to talk about. Let's see here. I got it on my Google Plus thing. I love me some Google Plus. We're going to talk about. I'm hoping the union guys will call. They're busting me on some comments I made. I'm hoping they'll call so we can have a friendly chat about it. They disagree with me. What is the difference between Wikileaks and the New York Times? We'll talk about that. Space shuttle program ending. Greece getting $3.2 billion. That's the sound of money dropping into a hole. News Corporation scandal. Apparently Rupert himself is flying to London soon, according to Reuters. Our unemployment rate looking increasingly rosy. Up a point, right? Is that a word? And I'm losing weight. I'm going to show you my secrets. Did it grow that way? That's the secret. If it didn't grow that way, don't put it in your mouth. I forget the bald chick from the 80s. The short-haired crazy chick was right. And anyway, Zach Martin is on the show, and I just got him into Google Plus, and it's really cool. He loves it. Speaking of Google, Eric Schmidt is to testify before the Senate, and I'm going to do my rant about the feds should get off Google's back. And it's Tom Hanks losing his box office touch. That's to get the entertainment folks interested. So anyway, Zach, good to have you aboard. We got a buddy of yours on here, right?
Yeah, we do, I think.
We got Josh. Our first topic is a special unannounced topic. Josh Crowder, welcome.
Joel Crowder.
Joe. Is it Joel?
Yeah, it's Joel. Hey, Dan, thanks. It's great to be on your show here tonight. And
this is Joel's
my
picture.
Special topic tonight is the U.S. debt and the deficit limit extension or upping the debt limit. And I just kind of wanted to share some commentary on that I've been following it the past few days.
All right, shoot.
So, anyways, I'm really kind of liking, in a way, President Obama's kind of shift on the debt, where he's talking about massive kind of reform of entitlement programs and the increased revenue, closing some tax loopholes. That's great. He's getting kind of some pressure on both sides right now, though. But the saying in politics is that if you're getting criticized by both sides, you must be doing something right.
Okay, hold it.
I'm kind of liking that.
Okay. Explain how President Obama is reforming entitlement programs since he's added $1 trillion entitlement program. Or he's added $1 trillion to our debt. Tell me, or he's increased the budget by $1 trillion, as did George Bush before him. It was $2 trillion, and then Bush made it $3 trillion, and Obama's made it $4 trillion. Granted, we had 9/11 and two wars, one of which was elective, one wasn't. And then President Obama's healthcare initiative. You can argue either way on that, but for him to talk entitlement reform seems a bit out of character, given his 2 years, right? What do you think? Are you outside?
I am outside. I mean, it is out of character, and I mean, you're seeing the pushback from the mainstream Democratic Party about it too. And like, they don't want to put any entitlement reform on the table, and so he's coming to a very centrist position on the whole situation, I think, because he's addressing that we do need some entitlement reform. Although we do need entitlement reform, I think he should focus more on Medicare than Social Security, because, I mean, Social Security is something that our seniors need to get by, and there's a lot more waste within Medicare. And but the thing is, we just have to balance this whole debt deal without putting too much of the burden on our older people, our middle class, and we just have to balance the whole way we balance things out.
Well, what are we going to do? Because the Republicans don't want to raise the debt ceiling. They want to. The Democrats are saying it's doomsday, Armageddon if the debt ceiling is not raised because the United States will not be able to pay its debts. And then the Republicans are saying now that if we don't raise the debt ceiling, the feds can simply pay the interest on the debt and pay our debts and have to cut other stuff. That why is it that our debts to foreign lenders, China, et cetera, why is it that has to be the first thing cut? And the White House is apparently, there was a report, I don't know if it was Reuters or somewhere, there was a report that said that the Treasury Department, Geithner is secretly looking into all those options, even though they insinuated that there was no other plan, but obviously they're looking at contingencies or they'd be incompetent. So what do you think the answer is? Do we just keep raising the debt ceiling, or is that something we should do? Also note that unemployment has gone up despite all this spending. And the last stimulus thing, I think they said, and even the White House admitted, that the cost per job created was $216,000. I don't know what you earn, but I don't earn that much. And I would gladly take $216,000 from President Obama if he wishes to send it my way.
Yeah, absolutely. Dan, quickly, what did you say your source was on that Geithner thing? News of the World, you said?
Oh, that was a dig just then.
But, yeah. So, I mean, we can't continue to raise the debt ceiling indefinitely, but obviously we can't default on our debt in that. And this isn't just from the Democratic side, because I've been listening to commentators on it all week long about this. And what would happen is, I mean, the dollar would devaluate, so our money wouldn't be worth as much. And there's just a whole host of other things. The stock market would not crash, but it would definitely go down. Even though it might crash. But
what are they going to invest in instead? The euro? The Greek drachma?
Well,
wait, that's the euro now. Huh?
Yeah, people have to go with the euro or probably gold. I don't know.
I'll tell you what. I'll keep my dollars.
I think the prudent.
I'm sorry. I'm being a smart aleck. Go ahead.
I think the prudent thing is you pass a massive reform package here worth about $4 trillion in spending cuts. You raise it $2 trillion, but with the massive spending cuts and revenue raising initiatives in that package, over time you get that back, and you slowly turn this around rather than making a big change. Which, I mean, in politics, the programs that work well are kind of structured where they give people enough time to make changes, where it's not a overnight cut. I mean, and we saw that with Greece. I mean, they collapsed, and then they were forced to make these deep austerity cuts, and you saw it riots in the streets, and you just saw a mess. Where if we slowly, over time, try and curb this debt, I think that would be the most prudent option to go.
Greece is straight up corrupt. I lived in Kefisha, which is near Athens, for 2 years when I was a kid. Now, obviously, lots changed since then. We're talking the 70s. But Greece is just straight up. I mean, half the people or more don't pay anything. It's just it's a messed up country. But I like it, and the food's great. I've friends. It's a great place to go, but they're having issues. And now, in fact, that's the thing. Now that the euro, the International Monetary Fund is going to give them $3.2 billion to pay their stuff that's due this month or next month. But here's the problem. The problem is this: the House is controlled by Republicans, who are largely influenced by the Tea Party. And Zach here is a Republican operative. Zach, correct me if I'm wrong. Any Republican who votes for any kind of tax increase is 80% chance going to have a primary challenge by someone endorsed by the local Tea Party. That's probably
unless
correct.
We're looking at some kind of a state where you have got a moderate congressman and a moderate base. Then other than that, you're going to be looking at an absolute challenge in a primary from a conservative candidate that would not be willing to vote for a debt ceiling increase or a tax increase of any kind. Anytime we go in and we raise the debt ceiling, we raise the tax increase. I mean, you just look back, last year with coming to the balance in the budget, we were all talking about how government's going to shut down. We're not going to have anything going on because, there was an Awakening conference going on here in Lynchburg, Virginia, just last year, and C-SPAN couldn't even make it to it because the government was going to shut down, and they wanted to cover that. But at the same time, it never ended up happening. But it's the big scare that the Democrats used to get what they want. They wanted to not cut the budget. They did not want to cut the money and cut the spending. They wanted to stay with the big spending. And that's the same thing they want to do here. They want to raise the debt ceiling just so they can spend more money.
That's the argument in a nutshell. And it's the House can't. They're deadlocked, right? The House is Republican, largely influenced by the Tea Party, and the Democrats are in control of the Senate. So and of course the president is a Democrat. So neither party can ram anything through, and that's the problem. So the Republicans want cuts. They want to derail the Obama health care plan, and they want cuts. And the Democrats want to preserve what they have, because as the health care plan and stuff kicks in and seniors and other folks start getting these benefits, it's going to be a whole lot harder for the Republicans to derail it later on. And the Republicans know this. So they're kind of in this sense of urgency. And the Democrats are predicting doomsday, which is probably an overreach. The Republicans are saying it's no big deal because we can just choose what things to pay. And that probably is also an overreach, because it wouldn't be good for the U.S. to default on its debt, something we haven't done in our 200-year history. What we have done in our 200-year history is raise the debt ceiling every few years since George Washington was in office. So that seems like the course we're headed for. And to a lot of it, this is just, I don't know if I can say pissing contest, but that's basically what it is. And they're going to compromise, I think. But I don't, I think they want cuts, and I think the people who elected them want cuts, and they have to have significant cuts. And I'm hearing rumors about the possibility that they're going to allow some revenue increases offset by and I still think that the Republicans, if they do that, are crazy, because they're going to get a primary challenge, and I don't see any quick fix out of this.
Yeah, you're absolutely right, Dan. There isn't, I think, and the thing is, with when the politics come into play, it complicates things when people are thinking about running for re-election. Like, I can see on the Democratic side, one of the issues that worked really well for them and that they want to, I think, use in 2012 is the Medicare and the Paul Ryan Medicare reform that most Republicans voted for. And Democrats want to frame the issue as they're the protectors of Medicare and the protectors of the benefits for our seniors. So any kind of a compromise that would cut into Medicare is going to be tough for some of those that are running for re-election to vote for. And so that's where the politics comes in. Again, the same with the Tea Party there. So I think what we need to see is some kind of a moderate package come through that maybe it can't get Tea Party votes, and maybe it can't get the farthest left Democrats votes, but if it can just muster enough votes of the moderate Republicans and the moderate Democrats in the middle to pass, I think that's what we're looking at. And that'd be great if we could somehow get that passed through.
Okay, let me.
Or it'd be great if we could just stop spending money and spend less money, and then when you take we could manage that. That'd be the real solution.
We can't just stop spending money overnight, though. Our whole country would fall apart.
Well, here's the thing. I want to put you
essential services. We can't suspend student loans. We can't suspend pension payments to our seniors. We have to keep doing what we've been doing, and any change we make has to be over time.
I mean, come on, that's the old trick. That's like a city that says if you're going to cut the budget, the only way we can cut the budget is if we shut down 3 police stations and close half the schools. That's the only possible thing that can be cut.
That's not true.
We're not going to take pensions
services
away.
There's subsidies to different things. We have farm subsidies that go out that are just being wasted. I mean, crops being burned. There's a lot of different things that are being done constantly, just government subsidies. I mean, there's useless Amtrak routes that carry 12 people a week.
I want to hit.
Oh, my
Zach,
goodness.
Oh, okay. Zach, I want to hit on subsidies since you brought it up. But, I mean, what about the subsidies to big oil companies that are making record profits of $32 billion a quarter?
What do you think's a
And, yeah,
fair
we're giving
percentage
them-
profit for
Yeah.
oil companies? What's a fair percentage profit, do you think?
Good question.
I'm fine with whatever their profits are, but why are we giving them subsidies when they're making these kind of profits? I mean, that doesn't seem really that fair that we're giving taxpayers money to a company already making those kind of profits.
I don't know.
yeah,
I don't know
that's
enough about the
fair to
subsidies
you.
specifically. I don't. I don't know if it's. I don't know. I don't know if it's subsidies to drill in a certain place because it's not profitable, or if it's just straight up. You're donating money to Republicans, so we'll give you subsidies. I have no idea. I can't comment on that. But I
Well,
think
I
the
do wanna
profit
comment
is
on-
like what, a little over 5%, under
What is
10%
that?
profit.
Okay.
And Joel, I mean, I want to stress the point that I'm not in favor of government subsidies for programs that are not producing. I mean, we live in my opinion, it's a free market society, and you're supposed to get the best price you can in that society. And additionally, in that society, we want to make sure that the companies should not be operating if they're not profitable. We should be looking at other options. If you're an entrepreneur and you started the business and that business is not profiting anymore, then you need to shut that business down and look for another line of work. I mean, or you need to look at moving into a different, either a different media market where your advertising is going to be a solution. There's different methods of doing that, not government subsidies. At no point in the United States should the federal government, in my opinion, be paying a company to operate.
Look, let me.
Yeah.
let-
I
you're-
totally agree with you. I totally agree with you, Zach.
all right, Joel. Did you vote for President Obama or John McCain?
I voted President Obama, of course.
Okay, of course. Okay, here's the thing. I just want to. It sounds like the Republicans hate the little guy. Okay, but I just want to draw a picture for you briefly. Imagine.
Okay, draw a picture.
All right, let's say you and me and Zach and 50 of our friends, 100 of our friends, right? Let's say 1,000 of
Yeah.
our friends. 1,000 of us go into some island or whatever, and we set up shop, and we're going to live there for the rest of our lives. We just decide, screw it, we're going to go, and we basically colonize this area. It's uninhabited. It's a beautiful place. Then we get along, and so-and-so's farmer, or so-and-so has a barn that burns down to the ground, right? And then we all chip in and we build a new farm, or a new barn for the guy. And then someone gets sick and we all help the person. And then someone says, you know what? I got an idea. This is a good idea. Let's do this instead. Let's take some of everybody's money or crops and let's create a fund, and then we'll give it to anybody whose barn burns down or they don't have enough to eat or whatever. And then all of a sudden, people realize that if I don't produce, I've got this fund to rely on. And then all of a sudden, 20% of the people aren't really trying hard to grow anything because they got this fund to rely on. Now, the alternative is someone could starve to death, but really they don't starve to death because people help in, because no one's going to let this family starve to death next to them. Now, that's a ridiculous scenario, but it kind of puts you in the frame of mind that where these Tea Party guys are coming from. That even though it's very simplistic, right? But if you carry it on and on 200 years later, that this is what we have, and we're spending, trillions of dollars. What's the debt now? 16. It's a lot.
Over 14 trillion.
14 trillion.
I think we're in it.
Yeah, the debt ceiling want to raise it, and this other guy wants to lower it to 13 or something. I mean, I don't see that. They'll put your money on that one. But I'm just saying that, understand that, and I'm no right winger. I'm pretty conservative. I mean, I don't know, middle of the road to the right, I guess. I was not a McCain-Palin fan. I didn't think that was a good ticket. But I'm a pragmatist, and I can tell you that that's where these folks are coming from. And they just see all the spending, and they see a lot of people that aren't really producing, and they're relying. I know people who are, I know people who get a disability check, and they work a bunch of side jobs because it's cash money, and they don't have to report it. And are they legitimately getting disability? I'm not going to judge that. I know there are people who milk the system. People who are waitresses who get the subsidized housing and pay $25 a month for a 2-bedroom apartment, and they're bringing home $600, $700, $800 a week cash in tips. I know all of us have seen that kind of thing going on, and nobody says anything. But that, multiply that by millions and millions of people, and that's where we are. That's what we have, and that's the frustrating thing when they keep wanting to spend more and more, and we're in a recession. Even though they don't want to say it. It's I think the White House guy said today we're not in a double dip recession. Well, let me tell you that the recession fat lady has not sung yet. It ain't over. Unemployment is now up to 9.2, And I think, what did we make, 18,000 new jobs last month or something?
Yeah.
I mean, that's nothing,
90,000 jobs is what we predicted, and 18,000 came out.
Yeah, I think Larry Sabato tweeted that, what was it, economists have a worse track record than meteorologists or political. But anyway. All right, we got to move on. But I don't know if you want to weigh in on this other stuff, but we'll keep you on here, and if you want to weigh in, you can weigh in. All right, I'm hoping the union guys will call in. If you want to join our conversation, give us a call, 818-688-6625. We'd love to have you in. You can bust my chops. I'm looking for some of these union guys who have been picking on me with some good points, arguing against what I said about the situation in Wisconsin and the whole concept of an employee of a union shop, where you have to join the union in order to work in an industry or especially a public sector thing. And I'd like for these guys to call and offer their 2 cents. I'm gonna mute you for just a moment here, and we got some wind noise there. All right. So I want to talk about this, and I think Joel may want to weigh in this, but I want to talk about WikiLeaks. This was sort of our lead. WikiLeaks, they had a backdoor open, and what it was is there was a way that you could donate money, and it was through some company, and I guess they took them a few days to figure it out. But what happened is that the WikiLeaks, the organization, after they received this anonymous submission of thousands of government documents, WikiLeaks sent them to various publications around the world, and they publish them and they make them public. And you've seen tremendous revelations come into play, and Visa, MasterCard have made it so that you cannot use those credit cards to donate to WikiLeaks. Now, I've never donated to WikiLeaks. I'm concerned about U.S. national security, etc. But the question is, what is the difference between the New York Times and WikiLeaks? Let's look at the Pentagon Papers. They got a secret study of the Vietnam War. It was classified, top secret information from the government. The New York Times receives it, and they negotiate for a while, and then they end up printing it in the New York Times. And it was a big a test of prior censorship, prior restraint, which is specifically prohibited in the United States. They can't tell you ahead of time you can't print something, and we largely have a freedom of the press. So that doesn't mean that if Zach works at a congressman's office and he gives me some top secret thing, and the congressman's on the intelligence committee, they can't stop me from printing it. They can haul me into court and ask me to say who gave it to me. And if I refuse to tell them, they can jail me, right? But they can only jail me to a point where while they think that I might break. Once it is clear and apparent that I'm not going to break and admit it, they have to let me go. That's in a nutshell how it works. So I want to ask you, Zach, and then we'll ask Joel. And again, if you want to weigh in on this, please give us a call, 818-688-6625. We'd love to have you join our conversation. Tell me, what is the practical difference between a WikiLeaks, a media organization, a publisher, a modern publisher that publishes on the web, works with other news organizations, and disseminates their stuff, similar to the way AP would or Reuters? Tell me what the difference is between them and the New York Times publishing the Pentagon Papers.
Well, personally, I don't think there is any. I think the fact of the matter is that we're looking at a situation where, we've got the WikiLeaks and the New York Times, and really they're doing the same thing. It's not like they did anything wrong, and they had someone hand them information, and they used the information, they printed it. I don't think there's anything difference between them. I don't think they did anything wrong, and it's actually kind of a shame that we're going after WikiLeaks, but not the New York Times, which, by the way, is typically pretty liberal, and
I'm sure
not a big fan of them.
Yeah, I'm sure you'd favor a federal investigation of the New York Times.
I would have a problem with that, actually.
Joel, let me bring you in. You got any thoughts on this?
I'm not really sure, Dan. I really don't. Yeah, I haven't been following it, really. I haven't been following the story.
All right, no problem. All right, well, if you want to weigh in, give us a call. And I think...
we appreciate you calling in, Joel.
Yeah. All right, let me see here. What's next?
I said we appreciate you calling in, Joel.
Well, he can hang out.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
We're not kicking him out.
I'm not kicking you out. You're welcome to stay as long as you want.
All right, the space shuttle program. Great. I know Joel's for this. It was tremendously expensive. and cost 14 lives over the course of its 30-year run. I'm joking, Joel. I'm being a smart aleck. I'm just kidding. But seriously, this is kind of sad. I don't know, how old are you, Joel? You in your 20s?
23.
23, and you're 23, Zach. I'm older than 23. But yeah, we were kids. Well, this existed when you grew up. I remember when we had toys before they actually launched the first one. We had the little toy space shuttle thing, and it was on your school lunchbox, and everyone watched and all this stuff. But what do you think? What do you think, Zach, about the whole space shuttle program that ending after 30 years, Zach?
Well, I mean, I definitely think it's a very interesting thought for it to end. I mean, one, we've seen it be a kind of an American. We've been frontiers. We've been people that explore. We first at one time, like as I was reading one article and one guy talking about it, we explored the horizontal and way of the country, the United States, and at the same time, then we start. We look at the United States. We explored the West. We explored all the different places. I mean, this entire time period, Americans have been explorers. We've been entrepreneurs. We've been, the pioneers. And yet now, we went to pioneer the space. We explored, outer space and deep space. And now we're looking at shutting down the space shuttle program for a possible look at going to Mars or an asteroid. And personally, I don't know how legitimate those things are, whether or not we'll be able to make them. But I definitely know that we're not going to be able to make them on the kind of budgets that the NASA's getting right now, because it's not cheap to do that kind of thing. I mean, just looking at the price, it was in the billions, 1.56 billion, I think, just to send one flight up, and in the last year, and looking at that kind of price range, and we're shutting down that because of expenses, and we're cutting budgets, and we're expecting them to go to Mars. I don't think that's going to happen, and I think Obama is being very unrealistic with that. I think NASA knows it. I believe they're actually laying off several thousand employees because of it.
Joel, just jump in if you want to jump in. I don't know. It's sad. I mean, what do you think?
I was just gonna say that I think, Zach, if we raise some revenue, we just raise some taxes, maybe we could keep the program going, right? No.
Yeah, that's what we need.
I don't think so.
Yeah, we're on the same page.
Or just better spending, maybe better balancing of the budget. And actually, I'm not really against a private space exploration project. To be honest, I'm totally for it. If versus the federal government exploring it, I think a private space exploration project. I think I know this guy out in Arizona that actually works for NASA out there, and he's been interested in that for quite some time, and they're talking about it. But doing private space explorations, whether it's giving people a rides up into space, a company that did that, I mean, I think that'd be pretty cool. I think you're looking at companies that would take you to the moon or orbit the moon. I mean, that'd be pretty awesome. It'd be expensive, but that'd be something you could look into paying for. Or just
what about more international stuff?
International, like going,
Well, international efforts, like I'm a big Star Trek fan, right? Mm-hmm. And I know that that the whole premise of that show was that it wasn't a nation; it was actually a federation of planets. But the whole notion that really, it's not so much a defensive thing as straight up exploration and learning for the benefit of all. And I think everything NASA produces is public domain, except like big state secret stuff. But pretty much it's
like
public.
The dark of the moon. And
when they get those pictures, they're showing them live on the web. Anyone can use them and publish them. Print a book up of them, whatever you want, free. So we're given the information anyway, except like strategic stuff. And I don't know if other countries, I guess they do that.
Well, I think anything that is a private sector initiated, if that's something that's possible that we could look into, obviously there'd be some regulations with that just for safety and other measures for national security. But at the same time, I think that'd be a better option. I mean, Joel, I'm totally against any kind of tax increase, always. And specifically with the tax increase that's going to fund, space exploration or Medicare or any of those things. I think, honestly, what we need to be looking at is private companies that do this kind of thing. And not to mention, we're looking at a 9.2% unemployment rate. Why don't we start allowing, some of these federally run programs to be run by the private citizens in the private sector, and we can, lower unemployment rate.
And Zach, actually, I want to hit on that because I actually, what you're talking about is actually, I just read an article the other day about this, in that I think NASA or the government is giving, I think, $500 million to 4 different private companies to see what they can come up with designing new shuttles and things. And a great point that was made in the article was, back when the whole space program was started in the 1960s, there really wasn't the technology out there for private companies to just start getting into space exploration. But now we've reached a point where private companies can kind of get more into it. And so it will be interesting to see what some of these private companies come up with, and then which one, I guess, comes up with the best ideas to see where our space program continues to go. But to just weigh in on getting rid of the shuttle program, I think we're down for possibly 5 years is the statistic I've heard. And I think it is kind of a sad day for America in that ever since John F. Kennedy talked about we should put a man on the moon, I think beyond the exploration factor of the space program, it was also a symbolic thing for America in that it showed that whatever it was we are doing in the world, we are going to be leaders. We are going to be the first country to put a man on the moon. And it was great for the American just psyche, if you will, in that like it was a great attitude to have. And so to not have that, it's almost like we're sacrificing some of that mentality, if you will, by not having the program. Now we're cooperating, or we're giving money to Russia so we can ride up with them and things like that. And so I don't know. I hope we bring the program back, absolutely, though. And if we do, I hope we bring it back better than ever. We're the country that leads the next space race to Mars or an asteroid or something like that.
It definitely could be that.
The end.
I think it should be international. I mean, it's going to benefit the human race. It's not just for one country.
I mean, it is going to benefit the whole world, what we do learn from it. And, I mean, I see that, too, in that space is a very expensive venture, and why don't we have some of the richest countries in the world combine resources so it doesn't take as much of a burden for each individual country? So I can see that argument, but I think it's a great thing for the American people to see that we're leading the space race just like we're leading any other, whether it's the best economy or the best military in the world. I think it's great to keep that going.
I agree with you, and I know that when Sputnik was flying over the United States and they had the first satellite and we didn't, and it was broadcasting in Russian, and U.S. people could tune to their radios, adding insult to injury. My parents, it was before I was born, but they were not amused, and there is a benefit to competition, right? We want to beat this country at this, but really, we're at the point now where we've gone to the moon. Okay, we planted our flag there, and we have lots of satellites. And now it's like time to look at Mars and beyond. And so this is just hugely expensive, and it will benefit. It's not about benefiting the U.S. It's about benefiting, finding new cures, finding if there are, somewhere. I mean, I would not. I don't think there's little green men out there, right? But I would not be surprised at all if there's bacteria on, some of these. And it's kind of arrogant, I guess, for us to assume that we're the only living things in the universe. We've come a long way from the Earth as the center of the universe and everything revolves around the Earth, but really we haven't come a long way from that in some of our thinking. And so, I don't know.
A long way from thinking that the world's flat.
I don't know. I've seen your friends. I'm just kidding. Anyway, so we lament the space shuttle and we look forward to future challenges, and preferably we won't be paying for them. What was that great line you read today? If God, what was it?
Yeah, if God intended for us to go, I don't remember who said this, so forgive me for quoting it, but it said that if God intended for us to go to Mars, he would have sent us more money.
There you go. See, that's the ticket. This is the McDermott Report. We're live every weeknight at 8 p.m., 5 p.m. Pacific, 8 p.m. Eastern. Our number is 818-688-6625. You join us, rant and rave and have fun and whatever. Okay, so next topic up here, the News Corporation scandal. In a nutshell, the British tabloid News of the World is closing after this Sunday's issue. This is the #1 Sunday paper in the United Kingdom. Big deal. Owned by News Corporation. Chairman of News Corp, of course, Rupert Murdoch. That company also owns the Dow Jones, publisher of the Wall Street Journal. They own the Fox News and the Fox movie things in the United States. Portions of Sky and, what is it, BSB Sky? I guess he's trying to buy that. And now the latest is apparently a report from Reuters saying that Rupert Murdoch having finished the convention that he was at, where he was apparently low key, is flying to London or about to fly to London to try to settle things down. Unlike this fly that's flying over my head, and the way it came, it was this hacking scandal that's been in the news for some time, and the gist of it was that employees of this newspaper were acquiring the voicemail access codes of various celebrities, members of the royal family, Prince William's staff, etc., and they were getting juicy gossip tidbits for their stories this way. Well, that's bad enough, okay? But it's not like the end of the world. But what really, really got the emotions of folks is there was this kidnapping victim, a child. This was a few years ago, but it came up again because the person was just the court. It was just in court, and what these reporters were doing was they were calling the voicemail number for this kidnapping victim to listen to the voice messages, and they were deleting some so it wouldn't fill up the box. And the family got this false sense of security, false sense of hope, because they noted that it was apparent that the voicemail was still being used, so they assumed that the person was still alive. So that is what really freaked them out. So now Murdoch's son is closing the newspaper, I'm sure with the blessing of the father. And what do you think about, now they're talking about new controls on the media, which is a whole scary thing. Because obviously, just because the media is out of control doesn't mean you need new controls. I mean, often, as with many cases, existing laws are fine, and sometimes people are going to do bad things, and you want to learn from those mistakes. I would say upping the security on some of these voicemail systems is the first place. I don't know how they were able to get all this stuff. I'm not up on the story to that extent. But from 10,000 feet in the air, Joel, what's your first impression of this? What do you think? Should they rein the tabloids in? Is it a good idea to shut this newspaper down after, 168 years, 250 jobs lost? That's 250 people who cannot be taxed for all your programs. I'm just kidding. Just kidding.
Yeah. Absolutely. It's really sad. I mean, in that it was 168 years, and so, I mean, they do have this tradition going on. But I think it is the best option in that if you just shut it down, you can try and move past the controversy rather than keeping it up. Who knows how long it goes on. I think it's the easy option for Mr. Murdoch to just shut it down, because it's just terrible what happened with the whole thing, with all the hacking that went on, and obviously there had to be some consequences. And but yeah, for the whole paper to be shut down, it's sad. But I can see the perspective of the Murdochs on shutting it down, just to try and get it out, get the negative press down as fast as possible, just by shutting it down. Kind of an out of sight, out of mind type thing, I think, is what they're going for with that.
I had a buddy of mine. He's texting me. I won't say who, and apparently he was drunk texting me, and I didn't realize it. I told him to call the show, and he's like, "I can't. I'm drinking." I was like, "Okay, whatever." So don't call the show. That's obviously off topic. But anyway, all right. Yeah, it's sad. Do you have any thoughts, Zach? You're kind of a media whiz.
A media whiz? I think that's not the case. But
oh, dear.
It's a numbers game for me. I think it is a sad thing. I don't really have a great comment on it, though, to be honest.
It's a horrible thing for people to lose their jobs.
Yeah.
All right, Zach, thank you for your
it's a very
insight.
in-depth comment, correct?
Yeah. I kind of explained it to him. All right, Greece getting $3.2 billion more euros. I love Greece. I lived in Greece. I've worked for Greeks. I love their culture, their food, the birth of democracy, the whole deal. It's great. It's going down, baby. It's going down, and any money they're putting into it, they're going to lose. It's going to default. And we lost him. What do you think? Are you optimistic about wow.
I mean, optimistic about it? It depends. I mean, honestly, I love Greece too. I mean, I've never been there, but had to study it a lot in humanities classes and a few others as I was going through college and high school. But I don't know if I should say I'm optimistic enough about it. I mean, but it's kind of sad that they were getting that from the European Union. I mean, if you look at their debt stuff over there, they're just as bad off as we are.
Yeah.
I don't think they're going to get out of the mess they're in. Not with it. No, the European Union is pretty messed up, to be honest. I mean, we had heard a speaker recently just talk about it, and from the healthcare, the personal problems that they have. Like in America, we actually have a system that gets us out of the debt. We have a Congress we elect every 2 years. We can do certain things to get rid of the debt. We can do certain things to get out of the economic crisis that we're in. If you look at Greece or any of the European Union nations over there, they really don't have that option. But just the way it's set up, it's just a bureaucracy that's controlled by people who just love bureaucracy, and there's really no way out of it.
Yeah, it's bad. They're going to go bankrupt. They're going to default straight up. Going to happen. Mm-hmm. And they're just going to pile more money in it. And
I mean, I think it's a thing that the liberals would love to do here in the United States. It's to throw money at a problem, and it just doesn't work.
Did you learn that on Breitbart?
I did. Yeah. No.
Yeah. Government sucks. Biggovernment.com. I'm just picking on Zach. I'm always the devil's advocate. All right. Okay. So. I lost weight, and I'm going to get, before we do that, I'm going to get him, are you up on the Tom Hanks?
Hanks
that's an important topic, right?
You know, that was a pretty good topic, I thought. I mean,
all right, what I'm going to do, I'm going to put the camera on Zach, and I'm going to assemble, because we're going to talk about because Zach weighs 140 pounds. Just kidding. He's like
250.
What are you, like some ridiculous height?
Yeah.
Nobody needs to be that tall.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah, so he's 6'4", and he would like to weigh less than he currently weighs. So I have some tips because I have lost weight. This camera lies. I'm actually not as skinny as I look on the camera, correct? I think it's taking it.
No, that's pretty true. I mean, you're pretty thin, small, scrawny little man.
Okay, hold on. This I've lost. I can't hear myself now, but I have lost. I'm down to 164, down from over 180, right? And I did it since a couple months. I don't know, 2.5 months, something like that. It's not healthy to lose a lot, but I want you to. I'm gonna assemble my plate of what I eat and show you, and I'll put on camera. But first, we're gonna go to Zach, and Zach is gonna tell us about this very newsworthy Tom Hanks story. Well, so go ahead.
Basically, we have the new movie Larry Crown that just came out with Julia Roberts and Tom Hanks, and a lot of critics and the Rotten Tomatoes gave it like a 34% rating, and as far as 38%, something along those lines, and basically said that it was the end as he lost his mojo. They were asking, and the question here is, Tom Hanks. We've got the Forrest Gump. We've got a lot of his great movies. We've got D-Day. We've got tons of movies where Tom Hanks has been like just a key actor in all these movies, and then we look back at now this one Larry Crown movie with Julia Roberts. And we're saying, just because it ranked, 4th place behind, Transformers, the Dark Side of the Moon, Cars 2, and one other movie I can't remember what the name of it was, and then it comes in at 4th place, and we're saying, it's I think it cleared $22 million less than what it cost to make it, and I think it was $16 million, something like that is what they ended up making in the box office in the first weekend. And you're sitting there thinking, gosh, Tom Hanks has been one of the greatest actors of all time, and now we're sitting here saying, has he lost his mojo because he has one bad flick? I think we all know Hollywood has a short memory, and that's not going to really happen. I mean, we see movies all the time scrapping. Brad Pitt's done a few bad movies with Christian Bale. I don't know if he's always made the greatest movies either. I mean, gosh, we can even look at some of movies from people like George Clooney. I mean, there's some of his that he's made that I haven't liked. But, then we have Oh Brother, Where Art Thou, and a few others, and some of the great movies of all times that have come out with him in it, and they've been great. But these got others, and they've all been forgotten. The thing is, people, if we're going to criticize someone like Tom Hanks, it's just to get a little spot on the media clip, just to have someone start the conversation, to get people like us to talk about it, because we want someone talking about something such as, hey, because Tom Hanks, he's a big name, put him on that and get your website some activity. But bottom line is, this is just a little prank to get people talking about Tom Hanks and whether his future is done in politics. Sorry, not politics, but in the movie and media industry. And I think the answer is definitely no. He is a star, and he always will be. Now, he's over here assembling his plate of food here that he gets out all the time and eats. But I was actually looking at some of this stuff earlier. It says 5 fruits and 5. I'm trying to find this again, but 5 foods you can use. It's on Yahoo.com. If you go with me here to the Yahoo webpage. One of the first things up on there, let's look over here. I may have lost it, but basically it talks about the 5 foods you need to have to lose weight. And I don't personally know all of them, but I think they were things that are grown that way, such as apples, eggs, walnuts, and there was a few others. Tomatoes. What was the other one? Do you remember what the other one was? I can't remember.
Fruit or vegetable.
It was some kind of fruit or vegetable.
Or fish.
Oh, salmon. That's what it was. Salmon. I hate salmon. It's disgusting.
Salmon.
Anyway, you got your food ready here? Because I
Yeah,
dragged
all
on a Tom Hanks 20-second video clip for about a minute and a half to get that stuff together. So
Yeah, that was our strongest segment of the show so far.
strongest segment of this it probably was.
Whatever. All right, I'm just kidding. I enjoyed your Tom Hanks segment.
Yeah.
And at least we got to put Tom Hanks in there, so we'll get some hits, right?
Hey, yeah, Tom Hanks. It's definitely.
Anyway, so the conclusion was he's not lost his mojo.
No way.
He's down but not out.
They'll have another movie out for them real soon. I mean, all it really was someone's attempt to get some hits on the media clip and some stuff on their website.
What do you think of Spitzer losing his CNN show?
Oh, that's fine with me. I don't care.
You ever watch him?
I have 2 or 3 times, and it just really wasn't that interesting, to be honest.
My buddy's not calling. Now, we talked about him earlier. He was my buddy's drunk texting. He's watching now because he he just talked about Tom. I won't say his name because he's a public employee who gets big benefits from the government, from the governments. But he's a good buddy. He's a smart guy.
What's his name? Oh, yeah. Oh, Mr. Unnamed. That's right.
His home address right now. Okay, I'm going to tell you how to lose weight.
Let's give his phone number.
Yeah. All right, here's how you lose weight.
555. No, I'm kidding. Everybody, here's his phone number: 818-688-6625.
All right, let me. All right. He said, "Don't scare me," but I'm paraphrasing. Okay, so here's what I do. All right, in the morning, right? You get up, you're hungry, so you can have. Basically, food is a drug. Okay, food is a drug. And if you want to illustrate that, when you're hungry, you're grouchy, and then you have two Hershey's Kisses, and all of a sudden you're in a good mood, right? Because of sugar. Food is a drug. Think of it that way. You're putting it into your body. It's a drug you use all the time. Your body's designed to process natural stuff. And this is stuff you've heard from a bunch of different people. Dr. Barry Sears will refer to it as eat like a caveman, right? And count your carbs. But I don't care about carbs. Almost everything I eat is carbs. And I'm losing weight. I swear I've lost 16 pounds and I'm losing more. Now, I do go to the gym, but I've been going to the gym for years and I was still too heavy, and I haven't altered my gym regimen at all. All I do is do cardio for like 20 or 30 minutes. That's it. And so that really doesn't have a big impact. What has an impact is what you eat. Your body is not designed to process sugar junkies, cornflakes, nutrition bars, any of that crap. Don't buy it. It didn't come out of the ground or from a tree or from an animal in a box. So don't eat that. What you want to eat is like you can eat, meat. Like in the morning, you can eat eggs, but you should watch it because if you eat too much greasy stuff, you will have an unpleasant hemorrhoid type situation. And Zach is going to give his personal testimony on that issue shortly. Just kidding. All right, so for example, here's some chicken sausages. These are good. These are great because they're big. This is a pound. That's it. So 2.5 of these. They're good-sized sausages, right? You can cut 2.5. I hope that's not the YouTube thumbnail. Zach's. I'm going to put him on now. I'm going to embarrass Zach. All right, so Zach, could you hold it? Could you hold?
I don't want to hold your sausage for you.
Anyway, 2.5 of these is a good amount of meat. It's the same as this ham steak, right? This is 8 ounces. So I try to eat like a whole ham. This is 2 in a bag, but these you get them at Walmart. It's like 5, 6, 4. I don't know, whatever it is. But one of these, or some eggs, like 4 eggs, and maybe some Canadian bacon with it. And I don't know if I mentioned. Anyway, all right. Now, fruit, okay? Lots of fruit. Now, I eat an amazing amount of food. One of the things I'll eat a lot of, because it's real convenient, no cooking, right, is this canned meat stuff. I go vegan, but you just can't. I mean, you have to move on. Here's I like 4.5, 5 ounces. I like the ones with the open because it's real convenient. You can open it easy. Let me. I'm going to zoom this in some here so I can show you what I'm talking about. Some of these folks are watching. That's my neck. All right, so this is what I'm talking here. All right, this is. Oh, that's not even the right shot. All right, right here you have smoked ham and then chicken. And this is ridiculous. Look at this can. Let's see if it can show up there. It says on the side, it says new and improved. What the hell could possibly be new and improved? It's chicken in a can. Are you kidding me? So one of these, it says, oh, no, that's the ham. But the chicken says that, new and improved. Anyway, so I eat this stuff. Like I'll have a meal. I'll have this and fruit. Like tonight, I will have, today I got up and I had a bunch of bananas. Like 3 bananas and a can of chicken. Or tuna, whatever you like, right? Salmon, I think, is one of Zach's favorites. And tonight after the show, I'm serious, I will eat this. I will eat probably the smoked ham, 5-ounce can of Hormel smoked ham. And then I will have, you won't believe this. I'll have about this many grapes, right? Gigantic thing of grapes. And then I'll have a mango because I got it. It's finally ripe, right? The elusive ripe mango. And then I'll have like 6, 8 oranges. Just peel them and eat the segments, right? So it's a tremendous amount of carbs, tremendous amount of fruit, but it's natural stuff. That's the key. Don't eat processed crap. Your body wasn't designed that way. And I remember, I can't remember her name, but she had blonde, short hair, and she was on TV. And she was like, stop the insanity. Did it grow that way? And she's right. And it's just common sense. Eat like a caveman. And you can eat all the fruit you want. If you want to have 6 bananas, 13 oranges, apples, whatever fruit you like. I got kiwi fruit here. This is, now I've got, man, that sucks. I've got the hairs all over my keyboard. But like kiwi fruit. And then in the morning sometimes if you want a greasy breakfast, that's fine. But don't eat too much. It's not good for your system, your plumbing. But I'll sometimes saute stuff. I'll take like some Roma tomatoes. I might take 4 or 6 of these Roma tomatoes and some onions. Bunch of all the onions you want all day. And then I'll saute them in a little oil. And then I'll do a couple eggs and just put that stuff on top. But literally tonight, I will eat a 5-ounce. I will eat this, and I will lose weight doing this. I'll eat a 5-ounce can of meat, and then, are you unplugged? Are you okay? Oh, you're cool. You're cool. And then let me show you here. I will eat all this. I will eat the mango, 6 or 8 oranges, and this big gigantic thing of grapes. I will eat all this, and then I will pee a lot afterward. But anyway, that's the deal. You can eat anything that grew that way. That's what your body's designed to do. Your body's designed to process that. It's not designed to process. Is that thunder? Wow.
I think so.
If we disappear, that's why. Your body's not designed to process. Now I'm eating a grape. Tell me about Tom Hanks. Anyway, that's
Great
the deal.
actor.
He's a wonderful actor.
American icon.
All right. Why don't you do about 5 minutes on David Axelrod? All right. So anyway, that's how you. If you want to comment on this, update it or tell me I'm wrong or right, whatever. But I'm serious. If you eat some meat, because when you eat this, like it sounds like 5 ounces, right? It doesn't sound like anything. You could if you eat like 2 Whoppers, you eat just straight up meat from a can, just a fork, eat it, right? You won't want a whole lot because it's real filling. I mean, you'll get sick. You don't want to eat 2 cans of this. And then all the fruit you want all day. If you're hungry, grab a banana, apple, whatever. And it's good. And you get used to it. And you don't want the soda. Don't drink the soda. Don't.
Soda is so
I
good,
drink
though.
decaf. I drink a lot. I drink coffee in the morning and then decaf a lot all day. That's why sometimes I'll put him on camera while I sneak off to powder my nose. Anyway, so that's my diet tips. All right. And then now that we've lost all of our viewers, okay, you got onto Google Plus today.
I did actually, yes.
Yeah, we have a lot of folks who check us out from Google Plus. What do you think? What do you think about it?
Oh, so far it looks pretty cool. I think it's actually, as you mentioned before, I'm a political operative, and I think we're actually going to get some of our senators and stuff on it real soon. I think it's a great resource. I think it does have some potential to catch up here, and I'm not sure how much damage it would do to Facebook, but it definitely looks like it could do some. And I think he's going to throw me a grape here. Let's see if I can
Ready?
catch it. Yeah, let's see.
Keep talking.
See if we get it. All right, I'm going to talk. I got a grape. Thank you very much. Anyway, if we look at the ability of
it's good,
Google
isn't it?
Plus, yeah, it's great. I love grapes. Anybody knows I'm eating one of those too right now. I've never been on a talk show where I could actually eat while I was talking. That's probably why I lost all our viewers.
Good thing we don't have a bottle of wine within arm's reach. That's another thing. I don't drink at all, although I'm probably cheat this weekend because it's my parents' 50th wedding anniversary.
That's true, yeah, probably would.
Yeah.
Well, anyway, but I think Google Plus has some ability to do some damage to Facebook, but I don't know how much. I don't know when. And I definitely think it needs to be a little bit easier to get into because so far it's been a pretty big hassle just to get into Google Plus. I mean,
But
maybe when they
that's
make
a
it easier.
secret, though.
It is a test.
Apple
it
does
is a
that.
test stage.
Oh, we're running low on iPhones the first day, and there's a mile-long line everywhere to get them. And then the news is out there. I guarantee you, if there were offices where you could sign up for Google Plus, and it was like first come, first served, only 1,000 a day, you'd have at every Google office you'd have a line. You know?
To make it more exclusive.
Yeah. It's definitely exclusive. But okay, I also said I would tell you how we got them in there. I saw someone posted on. I have too many I'm looking at, and I don't know who, but I plussed it or I commented on it. So if there's some way to find out that, but in a nutshell, if you're a Google Plus user and you're trying to get someone, and this worked for Emily, who was on the show last night, worked for Zach today, so it worked for everyone I've tried it with. But here's what you do: you just put a post on your, you post something, and then you share it via email to somebody who with their. I use it with their Gmail address, so I don't know if it works, for whatever, but. Then they'll get, you say, I want to share it with joblo@gmail.com, and they're not on Google+. And you're posting in Google+, and you're sharing it via email. Then when they get the email, it'll say, so-and-so shared this with you, and then in the email it's going to say, find out more about Google+. When you click on that, it will take you to where you can create an account. And that's it. That works. That worked today for a couple people. I did it, and that's the way. Make a post on your Google Plus, make a post, share it via email with someone, and tell them when they get the email to click on the find out more about Google Plus thing in the email, and then they should be able to log in. As of today, that worked. We'll see. But Gmail was by invite for a long time, and we were talking. This is going to make people use Google services they never used before. Because I never used my Gmail. I had an account for years, but I never used it. And I should create another one, McDermott Report, a Gmail, because every form of Dan McDermott was taken. But like Picasa, which I've never used Picasa, Google Docs, and now I'm using this Google Talk thing on my phone. It's really cool. You're totally swiped in a banana. Mm-hmm. So my drunk text friend, he just realized he is drunk. He just realized we're in the same room, and he recommends wine as an essential component of any diet. Man, if I ever tell anybody who this was, he's gonna be in so big trouble. But I won't, because we keep secrets here on the McDermott Report on Casual Friday. If you'd like to join a conversation, more than welcome to.
We're not Wikileaks then?
No.
Oh, okay.
We discuss the contents, but not the source. 818-688-6625 if you'd like to argue with us, preferred or agree with us, or offer your input on whatever topic. Okay, so Google Schmidt is going to testify before the Senate. The feds are going after, the FTC is investigating Google, and I just think that it's outrageous. I think they should be left alone. I think remember Microsoft had the big thing about the internet browser because they included Internet Explorer, and they were doing some stuff like they would go to a computer manufacturer and say, we'll give you this price for Windows, but you have to pay this price for every computer you manufacture. And what that did was, if you had other operating systems, all of which sucked compared to Windows, except Linux, right? But for a typical end user who's not a techno person, Windows or Apple was the way to go. But there were others, OS2, Linux derivatives, and other things. But GeoWorks, I remember that was great, but not really an operating system. Anyway, you'd go to a company, Zach's Computers, and I would say, okay, I'm going to give you for $50 a machine, you can get Windows. If you buy it retail, it's $200, but you get the OEM version, original equipment manufacturer version, and then you can, but you have to buy it for every machine you produce, regardless of whether you use it, and then you get the special price. Well, then you have no incentive to try another operating system because you're paying for Windows anyway for every machine you produce. So that was an issue. And then they said that by including Internet Explorer, because remember, Netscape, I think, was paid initially. You had to buy it. Of course, I don't even know if you were born then. And Microsoft has gone downhill since then. I don't know why, if it's that, whatever, but they're not the
probably something to do with the Mac.
Goliath they were. The Mac is still not, he's the iPhone, the iPad, iTunes, that is what has made Apple their market cap higher. But Windows PC is still dramatically outnumbered, probably 10-1 or something.
Oh yeah, well, they're just more simple.
Yeah.
They're simple, they make sense, you can use them easily, and you don't have to,
Politicians like them.
I like them.
That's an inside joke. Not really. All right, so anyway, I think the Fed should leave. I think the issue now is Google is accused of promoting its own products in Google search. Now, I don't think they should skew the results, but I don't think there's a problem with putting an ad. And it's usually contextual. I mean, every time I see a Google product mentioned, an ad on the side, it's usually relevant to the search in most cases. So I think that's why you build up a web page and get viewers, so you can promote other products. It's just like I own 3 newspapers, right? I've said this before on the show. If I open a hot dog stand, you think for example, I called the layout department yesterday. I shot them our publicity shot of the show, and I said, do a house ad in both papers. Watch the McDermott Report live 8 p.m. Eastern at live.mcdermottreport.com. Okay, so I promoted this product, which has no revenue, but maybe one day will. But is the FTC going to go after me? I mean, Warren County Report is the dominant newspaper in Warren County. It has by far the most readers of any of the others combined. Washington Post, the News, the Daily, everything, all combined in Warren County. We beat them. And am I abusing our dominant status in the media market by promoting my own product in my paper? That's why I built the paper up. So that's one of the reasons. So you can promote your other things, right? Mm-hmm. That's not really a motivator, but that's one of the benefits. So I just think that's what America's about, right? Are you asleep?
Me?
You're on a sugar high from the banana. You feel good, don't you?
Probably. I feel great, actually. I'm just ready to go for a run. Let's go.
You want some Vienna sausages?
No, not right now. Let's go for a run before having more of your sausages.
Some cardio? Yeah. Okay, so anyway, we think, do you agree with me, or do you think that the Fed should go after Google and destroy it?
No, definitely not. The Fed should get out of the way.
Awkward for Big O, right, in the White House? Going after Google, his own people?
It is a little weird.
And we've already done the Tom Hanks story.
I guess we're done, but hey, it's 9 o'clock.
Let's see if my drunk texter friend, what is he saying here? I know Warren County Report is not a monopoly, he says. That's true, but it is the dominant newspaper, and Google's not a monopoly. You can use Ask Jeeves, Yahoo search, Bing,
MSN search.
Yeah, well, that's Bing, right? That's Bing now.
Oh, that's right, isn't it? Yeah, you're right.
I like saying Bing and Ask Jeeves. Ask Jeeves. And then what's he saying here? He recommends wine. Ubuntu is awesome. What's Ubuntu?
I have no idea.
Why don't you go to Ubuntu real quick? Let's put your desktop up on the screen. Do you have any naughty stuff on there?
Aces.
All right, let's see here. It's UBUNTU. And we're going to check this out. He won't call. He's scared to call. He knows better.
Actually, I think that's the old one. It's not on there anymore. I think I closed it out.
He said it's still there. Oh, it is? Oh, it's not working?
No, it's not. My cursor isn't moving on it. It stopped working for some reason.
Oh no, that's not good.
902.
Interesting.
I'm not sure why it stopped.
Yeah, I guess it's not working. All right, well, Ubuntu apparently works, and it's some sort of site. What is it? Do we know? Google's been... he says Google uses Ubuntu on most of their desktops. Google's been getting away from Windows for years. Oh, it's an operating system. Oh, it's a Linux derivative. Okay, OS Linux operating system. Okay, cool. Yeah, so I guess there's not a way. I thought he meant a search engine, but yeah, I don't have a problem with Google promoting its products, in a transparent way. It's their website. I think they can do whatever.
Look, the thing is, they built an empire. They've established it. They've done the right marketing. They've secured the right deals. It's just like Walmart. Walmart doesn't have a monopoly. Walmart's just done the work. They've done the work. They get the lowest price possible. They get it to the market. They cut out middlemen. They get you. If you want a product and you want it at Walmart, they get your bottom dollar price so they can sell it at the bottom dollar and still make a profit. And they are the biggest company out there. I mean, there's really no one else to rival Walmart. I mean, maybe Target, but not really. Walmart still comes in at the cheapest, lowest bottom prices. The same thing with Google. Google does a good job because they get the lowest prices on things. They get the best search engines. They promote their stuff well. They got a great PR team. They had a great advertisement. They offer good services. I mean, I love the Gmail service. Unlimited storage. I mean, you lose any kind of webmail service out there, and you're going to run out of storage. With Google,
Gmail doesn't have unlimited storage. You have to pay for it, right?
No, I have almost unlimited storage. I mean, look, I've got 3,908 unread emails in my Gmail account. That's unread emails. 3,908.
That speaks to your productivity.
No, that's because a lot of them are junk mail. But I have probably, let's see here, 4,000 pages of emails. So there's probably about 20,000 emails, 30,000 emails in there that I have read and responded to.
Are we good? Are we done? We've run out of stuff?
I think we have run out of stuff for today.
All right, well, I appreciate everyone watching. I appreciate Zach participating. I appreciate my drunk texter for your insights. And just a reminder, we're here weeknights. Tomorrow night I will not be here. Sunday night I will not be here. Sometimes on the weekends, but usually not. Monday through Friday, 8 p.m. Eastern Time, 5 p.m. Pacific Time. The players, I tried Justin TV today, and it kept crashing the computer, so we're trying to figure out how to stream there. But I don't know if it's a Wirecast issue or whatever my computer's configured, but I'll email them and ask, and then the next day I'll get a response, and we'll try to figure it out. So the number always 818-688-6625. You can watch live at McDermottReport.com. You can watch us on Ustream after the fact or live on Blog Talk Radio. You can listen. You can also, just so you know, you can call our number if you don't want to talk. You just want to hear it, and you're in the car and you want to watch, listen live. You can call. I think we can have up to 50 people doing this, but our number, just call the number, and I don't even know you've called, and you can listen to the show live. And then if we talk about something that interests you, you just press 1, and then it puts you in the queue. And then Shar, our screener, will get your number. You put your name in there, and then we know who's who. But yeah, that's awesome. That's a neat free feature. See?
Definitely.
Yeah.
Certainly.
I think the government should pay for it instead.
No.
Thank you so much. This is Dan McDermott signing off for the McDermott Report. We appreciate you tuning in, and I will be back Monday. So have a great day. Thanks.